usually my synthesizers are over on the wall here, right? So I have to physically get up and move, so I don't use them as much. So I bought a laptop stand, like a little $20 laptop stand. So I have a spot to put a single mono synth on my desk now, and that's made my workflow and my urge to bring this into the mix a little more feasible. So now what my plan is every month or so I'm just gonna swap this shit because I have 4 monophonic synths.
Right, gonna swap them over.
I'm gonna sell one of them. There's one I don't like, and I want to sell it and replace it with something else because there's something I like that will fit the bill for me.
Yeah.
But and what it did for me too is just the other night I was really stoned. I smoked way too much weed one night, and I didn't want to hang around the family at all. We were upstairs after dinner, and everybody was sitting in the living room. So I just said I'm going to go cuddle with Mackenzie. I took Mackenzie up to the bedroom, and her and I were laying in the bed. And in my bedroom, I got 2 of those little Google speakers, like the.
Oh yeah.
Here too. Like
the little sort of.
These little guys.
Yeah, we've got those. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got them set up as a stereo pair in my bedroom.
They sound great, don't they? They really do sound good.
Oh, they do sound good.
Yeah.
They do. So I got them stereo paired in the bedroom on either side of our head. So when we're just laying in bed, we have stereo speakers beside us, which I think that's amazing for me. And so me and Mackenzie are both laying on the bed. She's beside me. And I said, okay, you know who, play Death by Design, Spiritually Dismantled by a Car Salesman. And that was my first song I ever made with analog synthesizers, right, on the Pro 1, right? And we're listening, and there's one spot where there's a couple spots in that song where there's these nice drones, right? Where like the music stops, the rhythm stops, and there's these big long drones where I'm letting the notes kind of play together. And there's one spot where I purposely detune the 2 oscillators and slowly tune them back. And when I'm listening to that, like no one else cares about that. Like most listeners are just gonna be like, that's a cool wobbly effect you did there. But for me, that was like, I couldn't recreate that because that was like there is no envelope there. It's all like there's no predictable ramp. It's just me physically turning a knob and trying to get it as close to tune as possible before I skip to the next part.
Yeah.
Like it's like a transition I'm doing, right? And that's when I hear those things in my music, that's what always makes me pull the gear back out. Where I'm like, damn it, the next song I'm using an analog synth.
Yeah.
And then I'll use it for a couple songs, then it makes me angry, and I get headaches with it. And I throw it fucking back in the corner, and then I'm back to my pigments,
Yeah.
But it's I wasn't trying to sell you on an analog synth, but at least nowadays, you can buy a nice analog polyphonic synth even now for under $500.
Yeah.
Like the Behringer just released the Pro 800, which is it's supposed to be an imitation of the Prophet 6. Plus, it's got Prophet 6 with extra features. To buy a Prophet 6, I think the equivalent of a Prophet 6 by being sold by Prophet now is I think it's probably the RV2, I think, or the Rev 2, and I think it's like $4,000 or something, or $5,000.
Yeah.
You can buy the Behringer for $500. Have it
a
in your house.
lot of the Behringer stuff is good. I was thinking about their Wasp thing that they've got, because I used to have a Wasp. Doesn't sound anything like a Wasp, I have to say, but it's nice, and I would know instantly how to work it, because it's all those old controls. So I just don't have that in my workflow now, and I'm quite happy working in software, and it's funny you should say that you put the synthesizer in front of you because of the sort of ergonomics of having to turn round. That's just a disincentive. I realised I had my studio backwards. I used to have my piano at my right hand side, right? So that's the keyboard I use most.
Nice.
So if I was working, I had to work on the piano, and the mouse was at my left hand.
Ew.
And it was a huge disincentive. I didn't realise until I changed it round. It's a huge disincentive to working, because I would have to turn all the way around from the piano to use the mouse with my right hand. So now I've got the piano on my left, so I can work the mouse with my right as I play. So just these little stupid things make such a big difference. The ergonomics of your workspace is so important.
Yeah, what I did too to help me is beside my synthesizers, I have a wireless mouse that's connected to my computer. I have a wireless mouse next to my drum kit, my digital drum kit. I have a wireless keyboard mouse behind the analog drum kit.
Yeah.
Right? And I put a big TV on the wall here so I can see the DAW from anywhere in the room and edit it from anywhere in the room. And that's, like I said, turn my studio into an instrument, right? That's
wow.
It's like
yeah.
cool, right?
Yeah, Sorry, go on.
I even have a mouse beside. I have a slide-out keyboard, like a typing keyboard under my desk that's got a mouse beside it, but I also have another mouse beside the keyboard, so that if I have like my MIDI keyboard, so if I have the typing keyboard pushed under the desk, and I'm up here, I don't have to move backwards to edit something. I just reach over. So I'm like, I realize that like anything I can do to make my workflow less intrusive, it makes my creativity flow even better and better. Like, cause I mean, if it was up to me, I just put a helmet on my head and I just write music from my helmet. Right?
Yeah, I'm the same. I've got two keyboards. I've got one over here, which sits on top of the piano, so I can press record on that one. And I've got a mouse next to the piano, and then 2 feet away from it, I've got the mouse that I use when I'm facing the screen. So yeah, we've come to the same sort of conclusion. And if I could get, yes, a big telly, that would be brilliant, because I don't have enough screen real estate on. I've got 2 monitors here, to try and sort of get around that problem. But yeah, the ergonomics of the space that you're in are just so important. And of course, the problem for me is that I don't have a big enough room to have anybody else in it. So if you were to visit me, you'd have to sit like 10 feet away from me, because there ain't no room for you in here, So, so you would not be part of this. It's a bit bad.
Yeah, I've my previous studio was like that. Like I had myself built into a box basically around my desk, where all my gear is within arm's reach, And in my new room, I have more room, so I pushed it outwards, which I immediately regretted because it affected my workflow negatively.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've worked on that. I've having the MIDI controller on the desk and pigments and whatnot, and getting more into digital synthesizers has changed that a lot too.
Do you just have the one screen in front of you then, the big one?
I have 3 in front of me right here.
All right.
Yeah. So I got a TV that was in our living room in our old house, but when we moved in here, there's no TV in our living room, so I put it in my studio.
Yeah.
So my wife was pissed about it because she wanted it in the bedroom. And I was like, we don't need a 55-inch TV in our bedroom. Plus, there wasn't a spot we could put it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it's going in the studio, and she's like, whatever.
We've got a Hisense 55-inch in the living room, and I got my dad one. Well, I didn't get it; he paid for it, but I went down to install it because he's not got a clue. But they're quite nice, the Hisense ones.
Yeah, that's what I have here. My big TV is a Hisense. It wasn't. I bought this before I worked at. I bought it before I worked at LG.
Ah, right.
I got it at Costco.
Do you mirror your display, or do you extend it across the 3 monitors?
Extended. I got 3 unique displays. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I have a 4th cable hanging out of the ceiling. I just haven't hooked up yet because I don't have a projector for it. But I'm just waiting when I have sometime in the next 10 years, if I have more disposable income, I'm going to buy a projector. And originally my idea was to be able to project the DAW anywhere in the room, but I'm not going to use it for that. I'm just going to project colors and stuff. It's going to be for just enhancing the space,
Right.
Just have like Mandelbrot zooms all the time,
You haven't experimented with the LED strips and all that kind of stuff. Do you have those?
I have those on the perimeter around the baseboard, right?
Right.
So, like, I think I've had them on before. I don't know if you can't. I got too much light on in the room right now. I don't know if you can see the light.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going all the way around the room. But there's a grow light on in the corner right now for some seedlings I got going for the garden in a few months.
Yeah.
That light kind of overshadows everything. That's you can see it. It came on during our conversation.
Yeah, it did.
It comes on every 4 hours.
Yeah, I was. I noticed that. Yeah. Yeah, I was wanting to get the LED lights that link up to the computer, so that whatever's on the computer screen is reflected. The colours are reflected in the lights behind. I think that would be a good thing, but I haven't been able to find out how to do it cheaply enough.
Yeah, I think because I got some friends that do it. Like they buy the kits on Amazon for like $30, and they hook it up behind a TV. And I don't know how the software works. Mine don't do that. Mine react to sound if I want them to, so they'll flash and change color. Yeah. Which is. I played a drum solo with it one night. The lights off. It was kind of fun, but kind of annoying.
Yeah, there's a
but
Philips.
For me, it's just a bit of ambiance.
There's a Philips screen, Ambi. Is it Ambi something? Ambilight? I think it's Ambilight, and that's what it's got. It's got the LEDs built in behind it, and it reacts to the screen and gives you the colours of the screen. So it's almost like it extends into your peripheral vision, which would be great for gaming. So if you're creeping through the jungle, the jungle sort of the jungle greens all around you, that kind of thing. So